Okay, I'm going to click on this game, and I'm going to pray to Relic and all the gods that be over at Microsoft. Please let this be something other than who spammed more horse archers, because it is going to be exactly that, Civ. Welcome back, folks, to the 1v1s, this time featuring DeMuslim, and I feel like we're taking a break from this other lad, so I'm glad to see him return. 3DB, it's going to be high view, Roos on Roos action. And now you understand why I was praying. Okay? I do not need to see the Pew Pew Ponies. I've had enough of Pew Pew Ponies. Maybe if it's part of a composition, maybe if it's a mix-up, cool. But please, for the love of God, let this not just be two guys spamming Pew Pew Ponies until one of them runs out of hay. We'll just have to see. So, opener-wise, we are going to see prioritization to just start sniping out immediately. We are going to see the hunting cabin rushed out pretty fast. In fact, quicker for 3DB. So we'll be able to actually push scouts a little bit quicker. Notice that you do not end up building that scout out of the TC to begin with. It's just not worth it, right? The difference is going to be minor considering you're immediately going into building your hunting cabin anyway, right? So while you could say, oh yeah, but you know, the extra scout can run over and find more value, it's just overall not worth it. Sacrificing one villager when you kind of count what that can give you. There is maybe an argument for it in Roos on Roos engagements, but you're still playing like by the luck of the draw. You don't know what the generation is, right? For all you know, these deer could be in clustered locations, immediately in kissing distance, and your opponent could already kill both of them. So it's just not worth it. Maybe if these were fixed generations, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some players going for an extra scout out of their TC in the early game. But that's like a whole other run we lead into that I've done before. Why are generations random? Why do some people get treated better? And it's something that can definitely come into play in a lot of these one-on-ones. One thing I will at least say is for the most, it doesn't matter in Roos on Roos because guess what? They don't care about gold. They rarely care about stone. The only thing that's going to matter is deer location, which is fairly balanced here, and then maybe tree lines, which in that regard, if this goes long game, 3DB does have an edge because also if he wants to switch out of horse archers, he's pushing southeast, right, into this gold vein, into this stone outcropping, and this other gold vein, as well as double tree line. And also the other detail we've got to look at is the relics, which actually I just... Guys, if you put more hours into the game, this is what we call the relic reward scheme. Get it? Because relic the dev and relics in game is what you're rewarded with. Because you may notice that these relic placements are slightly favorable for DeMuslim. They're basically just skirting his base at this stage. They've curved around it. It's a dome of protection, a dome of religion that's formed around him. So we could see DeMuslim very easily getting the lion's share of the relics here on high view. DeMuslim, I believe, is already underway on that tech up, so already off to a good start in that regard. Vision game, so far, he has not spotted many of these. I think he spotted 2 of the relics, and he's going to realize where the rest are soon enough. But 3DB has done a much better job than DeMuslim in terms of getting vision on the map. And I think 3DB, yeah, that's why. He is one ahead on the scout count right now. Keep in mind that DeMuslim would have slowed down his scout push out ever so slightly because he did go for the tech up sooner. Meanwhile, 3DB still hasn't done it, which is very odd, actually. I'm trying to figure out where 3DB went wrong with this. I know he invested in more scouts, but it still doesn't explain the numbers that well. Especially considering, like, DeMuslim, did he have more people on food? He must have done. Yeah, DeMuslim is 1 villager ahead, so that seems to have added up some of the difference here anyway. Be underway now, but it is going to take a while. And I'm wondering, what sort of deviation could we see if it is coming? The problem is I don't know. Like, we have seen a lot more people playing into Castle and Feudal hard as Roos. I just don't think it's going to be the case if you don't start building hunt cabins now. If neither of them start building hunting cabins, this is just going to be a cheers fiesta into horse archers, and we probably should all just go to bed early. Hopefully, though, we're going to get some knights. We're going to get maybe some man-at-arms. We might see a few mangonels. Actually, we always see mangonels. Not always, but mostly with horse archers. Just something that isn't simply Pew Pew Ponies. Please, I'm begging you. I do think we've given too much attention to Pew Pew Ponies, and now we're going to lose them, by the way. They're going to get nerfed in some way. I really wouldn't want to see them nerfed, though. I think good developers And I think a lot of developers also want to do this, by the way. They don't want to nerf things directly. What they'd rather do is nerf them indirectly. And what I mean is buff the counters, right? That's what they've done with Knights. Think about it. Even though everyone thought that things like Chivalry were overpowered for the French, did they actually nerf Chivalry? No. Did they nerf the stats on Knights? No. Instead, they buffed Spearmen and they buffed Crossbowmen. And that's what I'd like to see, is them just buffing alternatives. Maybe for a start, one of the ways is to like change the type of damage composite that Horse Archers take so that there's more counters, right? So Crossbowmen just rinse them, for example. Alternatively, we could look into maybe we need to change the... Maybe we do need a direct nerf. I know I just said let's avoid that. But if we do a direct nerf, it needs to be something not oppressive. It needs to be something along the lines of, instead of it costing wood, cost gold to build, and then that also brings it in line with Magadai. Or maybe, as I said with the Magadai before, maybe Magadai should actually get a buff. And that buff should be an eco buff, where when you reach Castle Age, you can reduce their cost for research and bring them in line with what it costs to make Horse Archers. In fact, make it so that it maybe costs wood instead of gold, or requires like 20 wood, 20 gold, and then like 80 food. Because that's the problem, right? That's why everyone's just outraged by Horse Archers. It's not just like the Roosts have an amazing ability to like tech rush into castle. It's that once they do, their unit that they build is so dirt cheap, it's just not even reasonable. 3DB trying to be unreasonable here. It looks like he's trying to sneak the carcasses. He can actually sneak in for the others. The problem whenever you do this is when you reveal on the first load of deer, guess what you just told DeMuslim? Well, you just told DeMuslim that you're not getting your second load of deer. Or your first, even. So what does DeMuslim now do? With a superior number of scouts, remember, he runs to your side of the map. You need to be careful when you do this, guys. It's always important, if you want to make this play that 3DB has, do it on the less likely to be being picked up carcasses, right? You want to make this move under the guise of Knight. You don't want people to see you doing it. And we see it actually forces 3DB to invest more into scouts. Also, look at it. Second hunting cabin. So we might start to get that hunting cabin crawl out. I think it's incredibly powerful, especially on high view. Remember, we talked about this. High view is absolutely amazing for exactly this strategy, courtesy of the fact that when you get these tree lines that are near the center as well, you're going to get up to like 40 gold per minute, for example. And also, you can even kind of scatter these hunting cabins in here as many scout points, and also they'll still bring you like probably 20 gold or so. So overall, just a really good bang for buck maneuver. And DeMuslim definitely getting his bang for buck too. Going to sneak in, snatch a lot of these carcasses away. 3DB is just going to have to be content with whatever is left, because he's getting scraps from the bottom of the barrel at this rate. And DeMuslim is going to be the first ready to tech up. Remember, DeMuslim slowed himself down as well. Oh, not DeMuslim, sorry, 3DB. Because he didn't rush into the Golden Gate, remember? He was quite slow on the gathering. DeMuslim already started constructing much sooner than him. So we kind of expect DeMuslim to remain ahead, especially after this maneuver, getting him the majority of the deer carcasses. Yeah, no deviation. Still Abbey of Trinities. Don't think we ever really want to see a high trade house after the unfortunate bug we saw where someone got screwed out of a lot of gold, courtesy of a nearby hunting cabin. Remember what we said as well. DeMuslim was already going to be ahead in the Religious War, considering he's closer to these relics. But now he has time on his side as well. Not only position, but time. So he should be able to secure 3 of these relics, maybe even 4 if he's lucky. Production of the monks already underway. And it looks like he should have the first monk out by the time 3DB's built his. So unless 3DB defends these relic points, he's going to be forfeiting a majority to his opponent. And that's always dangerous, because remember, the smallest differences make the change in the outcome, right, when you're talking mirror mirror. If you're doing the same thing, you're doing the same build, right, like you're doing the Pro Scouts into the Abbey Trinity, and you're dropping these archery rangers, then whoever has more gold, outside of someone making a stupid mistake, is going to be the one who moves ahead, right? The one that has these relics, because they'll be the one that accesses Imperial a little bit sooner. And one thing that should be said is 3DB did get a decent amount more gold, which is another reason why it's kind of baffling the way he got caught out. I think this is because he sniped a ball later, though, so it didn't matter as much. And it looks like he can't actually crack that number anymore, so he won't be able to get the tier 3, even if he finds the ball. So we'll just try and hunt for the deer. But he'll realize very quickly all the carcasses are probably gone. And already we see him move out with the monks to pick up these relics from DeMuslim. We'll take the center one immediately. And we know exactly what 3DB is going to do. What do you do when you lose the Pro Scout War? Well, you show just how 360 no-scope pro your scouts really are. Go, boys, go. 420 it. Yoink. Yoink it all. Oh, the wall low, though. That's going to force him to stay. DeMuslim. Okay, that was a good play. There's still going to be a decent amount of carcasses made off with, but the fact that he actually stunted the move out by 3DB there is really frustrating for the Russian here. And now, well, the pretend Russian, DeMuslim, he'll be able to move out with all these scouts, and he'll probably be able to return the favor. Also, with Horse Archers already out, you'll notice that these monks cannot move for the relics anymore. So one already banked. DeMuslim should be moving on for his second one over here. I think, yeah, going out for the third. He's going to get 4. He's actually going to get 4 relics at this rate. And I don't see how you stop him either. Definitely looks like it's going to go his way. Just running these in. Still his scouts about. Needs more Horse Archers right now. A little bit slow on the push out. He's up to, now going up to 4 of these archery rangers. But it looks like, yeah, 3DB was ahead of him. So 3DB has a better understanding of like the optimal numbers, I think, once he cracks into Castle, compared to DeMuslim, who seems to be more optimal about reaching Castle so far from what we've seen. I don't see anything about the 2 generations that I would have said, oh, it's just DeMuslim got a better start to tech up quicker. They were matched in that regard. Because remember, as we said, gold is irrelevant when you're playing as the Roost, right? You don't, or rather the gold veins are. You don't really tap into those. Very rarely do you ever, unless you're going for night spam. And these scouts, they never dragged back. They actually never pulled back. They never returned the goodies to base. I don't think he stuck in again. There's no way, right? So this must be the scouts from before. He was keeping them around to secure the relic. So he does get one of them. I think he already banked another. No, he hasn't. Not yet. Wait, does that mean DeMuslim? Has DeMuslim picked up the 4th? I'm looking for it now. But I just can't see it. No, it's going to be 2. Okay, that makes sense. So yeah, 3DB does get 2 in the... I was like, if he somehow lost the Northern Relic, I'm just gobsmacked. But he does get 2, but majority is now sitting with DeMuslim. Military count is in DeMuslim's favor slightly, but I think that's a scout difference. So if you look at the Horse Archers specifically, right now, it is a dominant lead for 3DB. The problem he has is when he moves out of his base, does that lead hold, right? Because you see already, DeMuslim, he's trying to force him to come out. He's starting to capture the sacred sites already. 3DB. Riders of Rohan on the way. Straight in onto the Warrior Monk. No chance to buff the line. Second one will get in and give an initial buff, but not onto the Horse Archers at all. So all of a sudden, DeMuslim needs to back away. He's engaged by multiple Warrior Monks here. And that buff is starting to come into effect for 3DB. That should chase him all the way away from the center. So we had a decap, leaves one of the Horse Archers back. And now the number advantage very clearly in favor of 3DB. Moves in with the Warrior Monk still. He might charge in and look for some damage on the eco, though. He needs to be careful. There are a lot of Horse Archers here, however. Tries to back away. Might lose 1 or 2 of the Warrior Monks on the out. We'll get away with the rest. And right now, this is just starting to grind into kind of a halt right now for DeMuslim. He has to wait. The problem is, when it gets to this point and you start cutting through this many trees, that's when villagers start dying. And that's where he has to be a little bit careful. Most of the Warrior Monks are gone. But the Saint's Blessing might still trigger. He's trying to go in for a hit. Gets it off. Buffs the front line. And will push back DeMuslim once more. These small details, guys. You need to snipe out those Warrior Monks before they reach the front. And now that they're all gone on the home field, this is where you stand your ground. DeMuslim can hold back against 3DB. In fact, even the village is running out. What? Surely not. 3DB's just targeting him now. He says, this is value right now. I'm fine. I'm rebuilding the Horse Archer army in the meantime. And I'm going to even out the numbers here. But yeah, I'm going to take out so many of your villies on the front. Your villies, they're only measly 50 health because you never got textiles for them. DeMuslim. I don't know if this was intended. Was this a misclick? I feel like he would have noticed it was a misclick. Or maybe it felt like it was too late. But the damage is done now. 3DB, 46 to the 27 economy of DeMuslim. I feel like I could start a series at this point. Misclicks galore. Well, misclicks equal miss wins. I don't know. I'll have to give it some thought. But that's definitely what we saw here. Actually, no, I've got it, guys. We're just simply going to call the series Clicking is Hard, Kappa. Right? It's just... It's such a rough way to end up losing out on this. DeMuslim is miles behind his opponent. He didn't even snipe out the army and have his own remaining. They were kind of matched, right? This could not have been intended. If it was, it shows just how desperate. Like, my thought is, like, it's... it's 40% a misclick, 60% intentional. The reason being is he felt like he needed everything fighting because he's that weak at this stage. And I can kind of respect that. Like, he's clearly behind, right? I think he was behind on the tech as well, which is what hurt him the most. We can see... actually, what? No. What? Wow. So 3DB didn't even have a tech advantage. He was just doing a better job microing, and it really leads to the problems there. And yeah, you did use the villages to tank a lot of the arrows, but it doesn't matter. Because you're taking that fight on your own base, right? I understand why DeMuslim does it. If he doesn't do it, he's going to lose anyway, because he's going to lose his Horse Archer battalion to his opponents, because he's just being outmassed at that point. But the fact that you do that, and it doesn't work, means your chances of winning this game are completely in the gutter. If DeMuslim pulls this back, it'll be a goddamn miracle, or a DDoS attack. And well, I don't know if we really believe in miracles, so if someone knows a few Russian hackers that can help out, 3DB might be screwed, but it's not looking that way right now. Caps in the east, already capped in the center. Horse Archer count back up to 16 now, and the Muslims, oh, thank God. I was like, where are they for a second? I was like, I know he's poor now after losing so many villagers, but he shouldn't be this bad off. He will be soon, though. You can see he started to transition into the farmlands, and he's running out of wood over here as well, at least safe wood. Remember that half that happens because his wood line is exposed. Remember the way they cut through these trees? They start to reveal themselves. And that's what really gave the edge for 3DB to just stab him in the heart with it. Muslim understands he has to find some sort of value soon. You can't even cross-raid because now you're behind. If you both go for a raid, you understand that 3DB is going to get more value, right? He's going to find more kills on your villager lines. Also, you're at your own base, so wraparound is not an option still. And then look at this. He moves out with a hunting cabin next to the ball placement. And look, this is worth 31 gold. This is what I was talking about. It's so ridiculously valuable on high view. And we're seeing it right here. Also gives him some mini vision, right? Good luck sneaking past him in this area. Overall, this is just the play, guys. If you're playing Roost on high view, build hunting cabins everywhere. Let me look at this one here. 21, and it's mainly here for the berry bush, but it's still giving 21 gold because it's close to the wood line, and it's getting these straggler trees. Meanwhile, another one over here. 22 on the berry bushes again. This is so well played by 3DB. He's getting double value, and that's the beauty of high view. So many stealth forests, so much additional value to be gained out of every hunting cabin placed. It's one of those situations where you don't feel frustrated with Roost player saying, oh, I have to spend 100 wood to gather berries. Because you say, yeah, I spent 100 wood to gather berries. I'm going to be here 3 or 4 minutes, and I'm going to recoup the cost in gold anyway. So what do I care? Such a count now up to 23. I don't like these numbers though, guys. It's 31 now, and I think he can escalate up to 4 rangers if he wants. Look at his surplus. He can actually afford it at this rate. Just hasn't chosen to just yet. You can see him sneaking around. He baited him. Oh my God, he actually baited him. 3DB. He's decapping the south. So what happens? DeMuslim moves the entire army across because he's paranoid that his opponent might be nearby. Because remember, he's playing blind right now. And he's going to be punished by this. He'll get the notification on the other side in a sec. He sees a few of these horse archers straggling in. But there is a backstab attempt in motion. And there is a lot of villagers here that could die. 36 right now. 20 villager lead. 3DB is not being greedy about this, though. Look what he's doing instead. He's rebuilding a secondary army on the front while this flanking force gets in position. Question is, how close can he get without being seen? Does he even try? It looks like he's actually not. I think he was expecting the DeMuslim to expand here, right? Like, it's a smart idea to check, actually, by 3DB. And also, once again, bait your opponent. So think about this, folks. DeMuslim is behind, very clearly behind. They both know this after that last fight. So what 3DB was looking for was a secondary TC. He thought his opponent had TC boomed in the back. Because how else do you get back into this? But when he wraps around and sees no signs of villagers here at all, it tells him everything he needs to. It tells him that he's playing 1 TC versus 1 TC with a 20 villager lead. And that means that he's going to reach pop cap much sooner than DeMuslim, and then he can just end this game. Really smart play by 3DB. Small details like that get overlooked a lot. It's not just him looking for a backstab attack. It's just about gathering info. DeMuslim, I think he's just had enough. He has to understand he's capped. He's not going to like the way this plays out, though. 3DB sees everything first. DeMuslim engages. Warrior Monk's going to get stabs off, buffs all the lines. And I just see some micro into different groups. The count right now up at 50 compared to DeMuslim sitting down at 34. The numbers are full and fast. You can see it's just so much easier for FreeDB to clump and kill, clump and kill, clump and kill. And with more trickling in than his opponent can ever achieve, this game looks like it's over. DeMuslim's going to lose the army, and after that, he's going to lose the base. FreeDB, what a play. Really smartly done, pressures into the base, forces the exposure of the line, and as soon as it happens, forces DeMuslim into the uncomfortable situation where he needs to arm the peasantry. And as we know, Rus, they're not exactly happy whenever they have to arm the serfdom, because that's usually how revolts happen. In this situation, it almost felt like they defected to the Rus side because they were so damn effective at ripping him apart and ensuring he had no way back into this game. So really well played by him. FreeDB, I love the way he started to utilize hunting cabin slightly and then got to the point where he agreed, okay, it's just going to be horse archers. But it's the fact that he's still playing hunting cabin, hunting cabin, hunting cabin. It gives him surplus gold to trade if he ever runs out. And that's what I meant by he could support 5 horse archery ranges if he wanted to, right? He's actually scaling much better courtesy of the hunting cabin. So even in a game where knights weren't being built, you can actually see the value you gain out of hunting cabins. Just giving you that double value, that reason to go out onto the berry bushes and gather from those risky locations while having that dominant, dynamic, rapid-moving army of horse archers to patrol the center and ensure that those pocket expansions never get punished. Really well played. FreeDB taking this well-deserved win here on Highview. And you know what? If you want to see FreeDB win more, maybe lose some, same for DeMuslim, why don't you go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We have plenty of videos available for you. Some of them I even cast when I'm not ill. So if I sound dodgy, hopefully I won't in the next one that you watch as they appear on your side. Why haven't you clicked yet? My arms, they're getting tired. Please click. I get out of breath when I grate cheese.